Thank you for that introduction, Danella. Welcome everyone to Resilience and Self-Care in Recovery. My name is Tracy Lee, and I am privileged to be here with you as part of the purpose of recovery, but I'm also privileged to be a person in long-term recovery. And for me, that means a whole life transformation that started back in 1997 when I journeyed from full-blown meth addiction to abundance. And my journey, maybe yours too, has been about finding purpose. It's really a story of resilience and self-care, stories that all of you have. And my story helped me discover and define and refine who I am meant to be. Now, we chose to offer resilience and self-care this month because February is all about love, and what better place to start than with ourselves, with self-love. Also, COVID, it has challenged us in new and unexpected ways. It's challenged our resilience and our self-care. Many of us are dealing with isolation, loss, grief. And so today we are going to dive into this topic. We're going to share stories of resilience and wellness. And my hope is that we will leave here mindful and intentional about taking care of ourselves so that we can do the work we do and be who we are meant to be. Before I go further, I want you to feel free to get up and take care of yourselves anytime during this presentation. But as much as possible, we would love to have your cameras on so that we can see that you're here with us and engaged. Please make sure you use the chat for your questions and comments so that we stay on track. I only have you for 90 minutes. And make sure when we're in breakouts and pair shares that you speak up and share your stories. With that said, let's start our day. I'd like everyone to take a deep breath in, put your arms up, take a deep breath out, shake your shoulders, twist and roll your head, and let's open our hearts and set our intention about this time together. I am a firm believer that when we set our intention, it creates our reality. It helps us get where we want to go. So my intention is to be fully present with you, to open my heart and make this a safe space for you to share your stories and connect with each other and leave here refreshed. I would like to call your attention to the workbook that we sent out. If you don't have it, you can go ahead and check the chat right now and download the workbook. If you don't have access, fear not. All you're going to need is a pen and a piece of paper, and I will guide you through our reflections and our activities. Those of you that have the workbook, could you please open it? And we're going to start on page 1. Where are we? So right now we're on page 1 in your workbook. And today our learning objectives are pretty straightforward. We're going to connect to our shared purpose. We're going to reflect on our own resilience and the strengths that it took to be resilient. And then finally, we're going to share stories and ideas about self-care. Before I go further and share our roadmap, I got to stop and thank Jesse Harless. And I included a picture of a book that he released just 2 days ago. This presentation that you're going to share with me today is adapted from Jesse Harless with his blessing. He just released this book, and it is packed with insights and thoughts on how to harness our strengths and shift from addiction to abundance. It's things that I put into practice, and I know they work. So I encourage you to get that book, super relevant to today's workshop. So without further ado, let's move forward. I'm still on page 1, and here's our roadmap. Your workbook is divided into 4 sections. The first one, all about purpose. The second section is about resilience. The third section is where we will explore self-care. And last but not least, we'll have a very quick debrief and an opportunity for you to do some learning challenges if you wish on your own time. Now, hear me out. This workshop is interactive, so I can't do it without you. And I ask that when we do activities, go ahead and do that journaling and reflection. And then you're going to have an opportunity to share your thoughts in small breakout groups or in pair shares. So if you're ready, let's get started. And we're going to start with a focus on purpose. So why does that matter? Well, here's a definition of purpose. It's the whole reason something's done, the reason something exists. And I think purpose is so important to the work that we do, whatever the work is that you do. And I'm always asking myself, what is my purpose? Am I living my purpose? Because I know that that's what's going to bring meaning to my life. And I found these quotes before I do our activity that I want to share with you. They are in your workbook on page 2. I'm going to share one with you. It's my favorite. It's from Mark Twain. So listen to this. The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. I just love that. So I want all of us to tap into our shared connection, our shared purpose. And so whether you are working in the field of recovery, or you're a person in recovery, or maybe you are helping someone with substance use disorder, I want you to tap into what is it about your work or your life in recovery that gives you a sense of purpose, of meaning and fulfillment. And you can think about this on a personal level or with your family or your community. Those of you that have the workbook, it's on page 3. If you don't have a workbook, just think about the question. You're going to have about 3 minutes, and then we're going to pair up and share our thoughts.
Thank you for the music.
Okay. So I know that for me, recovery, my work in recovery, it's what gives me life. It's why I was able to be a mom, and it helps me know I'm making a difference. So I want you to share what you came up with in your next activity, which is a pair share. So this is, those of you that don't have the workbook, you're going to each take about 2 minutes and share your reflections about purpose. If you have some expectation about today that I need to know about, make sure you jot that down and share it when we come back. Are you guys ready to get into pairs? Okay, hold on for one moment. Now, thank you for coming back. I hope you all got an opportunity to share a few minutes. What I'd love for you to do is share highlights, anything that you heard about our purpose in the chat, so that I can kind of be looking at what you wrote. And then do I have brave volunteers to speak out loud what you heard about shared purpose? Anyone? And if you're not talking, write in the chat what you heard about purpose. Anyone brave enough? Do you see a raised hand, a virtual hand? Donella?
No virtual hands raised yet.
Out of 43 people, nobody's gonna.
Well, we are getting some people talking in the chat room. Chris
Yes,
Lewis
you
said
are.
purpose of reaching out to just one person.
Yes, and I was with a young lady who is helping people as a counselor. She had family members in recovery, and this is her way of giving back. So,
Well, I will participate. I would be that one brave person that in church we call it the first penguin. So I'll be the first penguin.
first penguin, come on down.
So for me, I feel like if I could just reach out to one person, I'm in this field, we come across so many, but just reaching out to that one person who has struggled with addiction and being able to guide them or assist them or allow them to evoke their own change talk makes me feel that I am living the purpose that God gave me. So there was a reason that I did drugs. There was a reason that I sold drugs. There was a reason why I was arrested. There was a reason that I had to go to treatment. There's a reason that I became a tech by giving drug samples or drug tests to people in the treatment facility. And that reason was for me to be able to share my story with them, be able to relate with them on a level that they understand, that they've lived, and be able to be that force of hope, because without hope, there's nothing. So I truly feel that everything that I went through in my life was for a reason, and the reason was for the purpose of me being able to help just one person.
Absolutely. I thank you so much for sharing that. And so what I heard is you went through it, but it was for a purpose. And now you're living your purpose, giving back and using all that lived experience and wisdom to help others. And in the chat, I'm seeing help self to help others, sharing in the common humanity of being human.
Tracy?
Yes.
Yeah,
sorry.
Merlin has his hand raised, and then Cheryl.
I'm sorry. Okay, so Merlin, unmute yourself, Merlin.
Yeah, I will. Just very quickly, I was very sensitive to words, and my partner said the ones that count big in this in shared purpose anytime, and that's giving back.
Giving back.
Yeah, and I heard that, and someone just shared about they're finding reason, and that's the search in this, and so I appreciated those words. Thanks.
Thank you. So I know, Cheryl, you had your hand up. Can you make it quick? Because we have to move on. You don't have your hand up. Okay. Move on. All right. So I hope we're seeing here that there is common purpose. There is a shared connection that all of us here have. And how many of you would agree to this? How many of you would say that when finding or living our purpose, we are often met with some obstacles and challenges, right? But as we set our intention and as we focus on purpose or a goal, we can overcome any obstacle. And that is what resilience is all about, rising up and using our strengths and overcoming whatever's in our way. So in this next piece, we're going to take a look at resilience. And we are now